Hi, I'm Dave Briskie, and welcome to another episode of Briskie Business. I'm so proud that you're joining me in your living rooms or on your phones or on your video and welcoming me into your lives. And I look forward to another great program. We'll sit back, have a cup of coffee together, and we'll get started on Briskie Business. So the goal of the platform, as many of you know, is to help you accelerate your business. We offer here forums, tips, tidbits to help demystify the business process and try to also demystify the stock market. Mentorship on this program is absolutely encouraged, and we hope to offer you some great mentorship either by myself or some of the great guests that we have on the program. The last few programs, we were able to field a number of different questions from our listening audience and viewing audience. Those questions can be sent to briskiebusiness@entvUSA.com. I love the feedback. Keep it coming. Thank you so much. This is your program, so I'm really interested in what you want to hear about. Today is going to be a very, very special program because I'm going to be able to welcome a guest onto the program, and I think you're really going to want to hear and enjoy what he has to say. Like all Briskie Business programs, we're going to offer 4 segments: Brisk Business Basics, Brisk's Buy or Bail, Brisk's Bulls and Bears, and of course Brisk's Best and Brightest, which is the mentorship section of the program. So, let's get started and let's do this. My guest today is really a great guy. Super smart. He's got a broad range of skills that I think you're really going to be interested in hearing about. He's really an expert in customer retention. He's a gifted sales professional, and he's also approaching 900 episodes on a podcast called Limitless that you're going to want to add to your weekly routine. His family is stunning and beautiful. 2 great boys, a beautiful girl, and an amazing wife that I'm all proud to call friends of mine. I'd like to bring Alex Theis on to Briskie Business. Alex, welcome to the program.
Hey, Dave. Really happy to be here. Happy for everybody tuning in today. Thank you. It's going to be a fun hour here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting it with you and maybe digging in and having a cup of coffee. I picked this mug out special for you, or actually my wife did, and it says, never give up. And I think it's going to be appropriate, especially when we get to segment 4. So cheers to you, my friend. Let's kick it off.
Let's do it.
All right. So, the first segment of the program is about Brisk's Business Basics. So it's that basic business principle. And what I'd really like to start off with is maybe that early career, your early career, where you got started. You came out of, I'm not even sure, did you come out of college? Where did you come out? And how did you kick off your business career?
Well, I go back to, I had a couple weird jobs in high school, but the first really solid experience I had where I learned a lesson. My father ran grocery warehouses for my entire life, my childhood into my 20s. My first job when I was 15 was he hired me to run a forklift overflow when they needed somebody. And what I learned from that experience, besides the joys of manual labor, was I watched my dad in the hiring process. And I watched him hire a guy who had been out of prison for 2 weeks, who couldn't get a job and was really down on his luck and just had no hope. And I remember asking my dad in the car on the drive home from work, why would he hire a guy out of prison? He said, it's about results, and everybody deserves a second chance. And if you have that ability to give somebody a second chance, you'll never forget it. And that was probably my first big business lesson, that it doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter what color you are, what religion you are, what sex you are. It doesn't matter where you're from. The American dream, people coming here. I'm a 3rd generation American. You're probably close to that, Dave. That was my first big business lesson. So I went to college part-time and I worked part-time, which was a blessing because most of my friends, their senior year in high school, they're working Taco Bell or Home Depot or at a restaurant. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was very blessed to get a job at a law firm after school as a senior in high school, where I would drive to downtown Phoenix and work 5 or 6 hours at a law firm. And then I continued that as I was going to college part-time. And that put me in a group of people who were very professional, who had a career, who were college educated, who had plans for their life. And that had a big impact on me, being around really professional people. And from there, I made great connections, because as you know, it doesn't matter what your education is or what you know. It's really who you become and who you know, those connections you make, that network. And from there, I was able to get a job in the direct sales industry in the law department, the legal department of a direct sales company was how I started. And that was in 1997, so over 23 years ago. And I've been in the direct sales space that entire time. I've done some other things, built some small businesses and things like that. But that's been my main occupation, is running big customer service teams, running sales teams, working on promotions and customer client retention. And started with a lucky break. As I look back, it was kind of destiny to work with such professional people as a young man and be able to carry myself with a little more professionalism instead of a lot of my friends who were having a good time. But going through college, it doesn't really set you up to step into a professional environment and get noticed by powerful people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And what a great timing for this show to have someone that's been in the direct selling space for that many years, because I think, given this large state of unemployment that we're in, the side hustle business, which is really what direct selling is all about, I think is going to really kind of take off again and really come in vogue with so many people kind of looking for an opportunity. And you've really done it all in the direct selling space. I mean, you've done the roles for a direct selling company that really, really matter. And I want to touch on one of those particular roles, because in one of the episodes I've had, and I got tons of feedback, which was covering the sales process, okay? And isn't it interesting, when the economy gets rough, everybody turns to revenue, right? I mean, that revenue fixes everything, and all of a sudden revenue is a big, big topic. And one of the things that you had to do, and I'm interested in the plan for this, is that you had to take a sales team with your company, and you work at a Longevity, right? NASDAQ YGYI, and you had to take a sales team and you had to shift it and pivot it to working remote. Tell me about that, and tell me, what do you think it takes to develop a strategy where people now are working remote?
Certainly timely with what's going on in the world and everybody having to shift. If you can work from home, there's a lot of, as you know, people that really good people in service industries and things that don't have that ability. And I feel for them in this time and pray for them. And my thoughts are with them that they find something. And as the world evolves, for our sales team, they were very ingrained into an office environment, coming to the office every day. But we had built in, number one, measurables for the team. And I was taught a long time ago by a mentor that if you want better results, you got to measure them. If you want even better results, you got to report those results. And if you want the best results, you incentivize those results. So we were already doing that, and we built a culture that was very autonomous. The main interaction I have with new hires, as you know, I used to train all of them from start to finish. Now my main interaction is I meet them and I kind of lay down the law on a couple things, because the team culture polices itself. So we already had a really strong team culture of trust, autonomy, and results. So when we shifted to work from home, it fit very well. I think the best thing I did was actually did a couple trainings for them on how to get the most out of yourself working from home, which a lot of people struggle with that. You've adapted in your career, Dave, to work from home and enjoy it, and know that when you work from home, there's fewer distractions. There's definitely a couple downsides you have to work around. But for me, I end up working longer hours. I work harder. I get more done. I have fewer distractions. So with our sales team, having those measurables in place, having the accountability, having the culture, having really good people who were autonomous and results focused because they were incentivized to get those good results, we just really stayed in tight communication, number one, because you don't want to just let people. This is where the misnomer of, hey, when people work from home, they just sit around and do nothing. If you're in tight communication with people and it's about results, you see what they're up to. And our team shifted. They were very happy to work from home. As you know, they had their best results ever. And from a management standpoint, there are some really key factors to get the most out of your team and manage well without being a micromanager, without making people feel like you're breathing down their neck, and letting them still do what they're really, really good at. And that comes down to the communication and the measurables. In our office, one of the things that drove sales was we had a big board like a scoreboard with everybody's numbers on them that anybody could see anytime. And that was built-in accountability. We don't have that luxury with people working from home. So what we've been able to do is share that via other screens where people still see it on a daily basis. They see what they're up to. And it's actually worked really, really well. So to sum all that up, taking a sales team that traditionally is in an office and shifting them to work from home, you have a good culture, you have autonomy, great communication, and you have measurables built in to incentivize and manage people effectively. It was actually pretty seamless. It was actually a lot simpler than I thought it would be. And people are super happy. And as you know, Dave, happy people sell more.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. And that's such a great story with so many people working at home. My daughter is actually struggling with it. She works for Frito-Lay, and she's definitely missing the camaraderie of it. But she's not in a sales role. And I think certain roles are more conducive for working at home than other roles. And I think the selling process can be done anywhere if you've got motivated people that like the product they're selling, work as a team, and you can find ways to make them accountable without micromanaging. And you've obviously had a lot of success doing that and broke some records by making that shift. So congratulations to you. And I think you gave some absolutely great advice. You know, your Limitless podcast, incredible, close to 900 episodes. That's a lot of episodes. What's in a couple minutes, because I think that's all we have left for this segment, tell me what the goal of that podcast is.
I've valued education my whole life, whether that's college or learning from mentors, or learning from people from afar, learning from books. And back in 2009, 2010, I discovered what a podcast was. And I was in a rut in my life. Everything was fine. I think we all have these times where things seem to be going okay. We definitely have the times when things aren't going well, but things were okay. But I just felt like I was in a rut. And I discovered podcasts. And there's something magical about the spoken word, and especially when you have headphones in or you're in the car, is it reaches you subconsciously whether you're listening or not. But when you have these earphones and you're in the car, it's entering your mind and subconscious. It speaks to you. You find the right podcast. It feels like the podcaster, the host, is speaking directly to you, like he or she designed this episode specific for you. So that happened to me. I had a couple great podcasts that I listened to, and it felt like I wanted to share some challenges I've been through. And the biggest challenge in my life that I see in everybody's life, whether they are, it doesn't matter where they're at in their life, young, old, stuck, not stuck, in college, great career, is right here. The thing that holds us back the most isn't real obstacles. It's the obstacles we create in our minds, the limits, the limiting beliefs. That old saying that fear cancels more dreams than failure ever does. It's because we talk ourselves out of it. And so my podcast Limitless was designed. I wanted to speak to people who are in that situation that I was in, holding yourself back, talking yourself out of a good idea. Like Sarah Blakely, the great female entrepreneur, says, everybody has had $1 million idea. They just didn't take action on it. My goal is to remove those limits that are in your mind, get you to start taking steps of action, because when you take action, you get experience. It turns into expertise. You might make mistakes, but you learn so much. And one of the most gratifying things, the podcast is 900 episodes, been downloaded 2.5 million times, but the most gratifying thing to me is when I get an email from somebody that says, Alex, I've been listening to your podcast and I finally pulled the trigger and I started a business, or I sold my business, or I left a bad relationship, or I was able to go and ask somebody out that I've been wanting to talk to for a long time because they overcame those limits in their mind. And that is, to me, is that type of legacy to leave with people and make an impact on their lives is
that's huge.
You can't put a price on it.
And that's so gratifying. Believe it or not, the segment's already over. It's amazing when you get together with someone who's super smart that you like chatting with, and it's just great catching up with you. This is going to conclude the first segment, Brisk Business Basics, and we're going to be right back with Brisk's Buy or Bail.
We are ENTV USA. Log on now and check out our live shows and subscribe. You don't want to miss this. Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Linea Deportiva, a sports line. At 7 p.m., O Que Chisme, the best celebrity gossip show with Odi Abreu. At 8 p.m., Punto Final, another angle of news. 9 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays, we have Alo Cortez with Tony Cortez. Tuesdays at 9 p.m., Dame Un Like. Thursdays, also at 9 p.m., De Noche con Roche. Fridays, 9 p.m., Mas con Mas with Raul Mascanosa. Every Wednesdays at 4 p.m., we've got Briskie Business with Dave Briskie. Followed by Inmigración en Fronteras with lawyer Irving Gonzalez at 5 p.m. This is our programming for ENTV USA from right here in Miami for the rest of the world. Con una vista, basta. Show some love and give us a like.
Understanding your microbiome can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Paying attention to your overall health also means focusing on the command center of it all, your brain. Factors like stress, lack of sleep, poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and the bombardment of pollutants and toxins can all diminish brain and neural functions. When was the last time you concentrated on your brain health? Synaptive by Longevity is a cutting-edge, unique brain support supplement that delivers powerful nutrients both immediately and throughout the day. Its anti-stress nutrients provide instant brain-boosting support that helps with mental focus and cognitive activity. To enhance your body's neuroprotection, Synaptive's full-spectrum antioxidant blend targets 6 major classes of free radicals that inhibit brain function. This powerful nutrient combination also promotes healthy blood flow to the brain. Synaptive, optimal antioxidant neuroprotection and support for a healthy brain. Now that's something to think about. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. Today I'm enjoying some conversation with Alex Theis, and let's bring him back onto the program. And we're going to talk about when Alex first joined our business, and it was a brisk buy or bail moment. It was a buy or bail moment. It happens in life all the time, and those are our moments when we summarize the pros and cons and we decide to go with something or not go with something. And in the case of the time we first met, you were making a decision on whether to join the company. And do you go through a buy or bail type strategy when you make these decisions, Alex?
Yes, you have to. And a few months before I met you, maybe 60 days before I met you, I actually had an opportunity, the same type of opportunity, where I met with somebody, and it just wasn't right. And it was really hard to say no and to walk away from an opportunity where, frankly, I needed the money. I needed the opportunity, but it was the wrong opportunity. And I kept feeling this pull that if you say no to the wrong things, you're going to find the right things. But the opposite is also true. If you keep saying yes to the wrong things, you'll never run into the right things. It's like getting on a train before it's time. Like, this isn't your train. Why would you get on a train to Boston when you want to go to New York? That happened. So I actually said no to an opportunity, and then I met you. So for me, anytime it's an idea, a project, an opportunity, number one, it's about the people. Because at the end of the day, you and I were like-minded. Besides just the business part, is we like to work with people we like, right? We like to have a little fun, because business is challenging. You're going to have some ups and downs. So that was the first thing, is I had a connection with you. Number two is we had the same goal in mind of where we were headed with this. We had the same vision, the same end point we wanted to reach. And so that we had alignment. And the third thing is you're going to run into obstacles anytime you have an opportunity, an idea, anytime you have to make a decision. How are you going to work around those obstacles? And that has to do with the people, but working with you and some other people, we were able to clear out some of the obstacles that got in our way. And so ultimately, you also look at the track record of the people you're working with. And the last thing I'm looking for is that connection when it comes to mindset, as far as two big things for me: freedom to fail, because not everything can be a home run, and you have to try some things and learn from your mistakes. And the second thing was enjoying life. That I don't live to work; I work to live, and I love to work. I work every day, like you, Dave. But the happier I am, the more I get to work where I want and do the things I want. And for you, you said the magic words that uncanny. The same quote that my dad told me when I was 15 years old, you told me when I was 29, and I met you. I wasn't 29. You said it's about results. And when you said that, after we had met and you ended it with that, I knew right then, like that, I could still feel the goosebumps.
I remember that very well too. It was a good connection, and then we start to leverage the skills. And one of the skills you had several, but there wasn't the existence in the company of a retention team, customer retention, and it was an area you were really passionate about. And it was that other buy or bail moment, like, how are we going to build a retention team? We didn't have the biggest budget to do it, and how are we going to go about building a results-oriented retention team? And that was another buy or bail moment, right? We were going to live or die by this, and we were going to create the upside to do it. And obviously, that ended up being a very, very good decision for the company, for yourself, certainly for me. And so I want you to talk about that area that you really are an expert in, that customer and client retention that I don't think companies pay close enough attention to. Why does it matter? How do you focus on it? What do you think why it's important? I mean, you're an expert in it, so I just want to hear what you have to say about that.
One of the factors that was definitely in consideration for us working together was the product that we worked with, and that was key. So for everybody out there, when you're faced with a decision, you don't want to, there's things you'll compromise on. You might compromise on pay, or there's things that you negotiate, but there has to be non-negotiables. I don't know how to sell lipstick. I don't know how to sell even stocks. I've never been a stockbroker. There's a lot of things I'm not good at. And this world rewards you for focusing on the things that you're great at. So whatever you're good at, pick a couple of those things and try to be great at them. For me, I was very fortunate to work with some mentors who valued customer and client retention. And I had a liking for that, had a knack for it. And not many people in the world do. I like to think I'm one of the world's foremost authorities on customer and client retention. And part of that, I'm not afraid to say, is because not very many people are focused on it. But I'll give you a couple examples, and I'll tell you why I focus on it. But a couple of examples in the world of companies that are almost solely focused on keeping people longer and keeping people more often, have you spend more time and more money with them. 3 huge companies: Google, Amazon, Facebook. Maybe 3 of the biggest companies in the world have focused on customer and client retention. And Amazon was great at it back in the day when they said, hey, we want to keep you. We're going to give you free shipping if you spend $25, knowing that books cost $9 or $19. So you'd buy 2 books and get the free shipping, so they were able to raise that. Here's why I'm so focused on customer retention. There's only 3 ways to grow a business when you boil it down: new business, or getting people who buy from you to buy more, as in dollars, or getting people who buy from you to buy more often. So if they buy from you twice a year, can they buy from you 4 times a year? If they spend, I just talked to a restaurateur about this, who's his limited space in his restaurant. I said, how much is your average plate on a Friday or Saturday night? He didn't know. I said, well, average that out and try to raise that by 10%. And if you do that every night, your business just grew by 10% without having a single table. That, in a nutshell, is why I love customer and client retention. Somebody already loves you. It's proven they want to spend more money with you. They want to spend with you more often. They don't want to go to a bunch of different places. And again, I'll bring up Amazon again. They're living proof of that what don't you buy on Amazon anymore? I mean, there's a limited thing. And so luckily, you and I working with YGYI, is their products are phenomenal. And that played into my skill set almost perfectly to say, you have people here who have been taking these products for 20 plus years who love them, and who may have tried them somewhere else or tried a different product line and never got those same results. So we're working with an excited group of people, and our average order on our sales team with retention is 60% higher than the company's average order. And the company's average order is already really high. It's already really strong because the products are so amazing. I tell you that not to toot my own horn, but to say, everybody, if you're not focused on past clients, if you're not focused on how do you get people who love you to spend a little bit more, even 5 to 10%, or come back to you more often, or winning them back, it's easier than getting new business. But the whole world's focused on getting new business, which at times we need to be, obviously. But if you would take 10 to 20% of your time and focus on retention, winning people back, or getting people to spend more with you, you'd see amazing results.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think that it plays very, very well in the direct selling space. We've got 1 minute left for this segment. Those that are in the side hustle business right now, right? They're building a check or they're new to that. How important is retention in their world?
One of the reasons people stop building a side hustle or a side business is they get burnt out from having to go find new people to churn and burn. It happened to my wife and I the first time we built a direct sales business. She got completely burnt out of finding new people. And that's one of the things that contributed to my learning more about retention. Was I fell in that trap of not retaining people. So anybody in that space, every minute you spend on winning people back, on retaining people, getting them to spend more, makes them more loyal. Every minute you spend is an investment that pays for itself 10 times over. And yet so few people are focused on it because I just don't think they know what to do. Or if you lose somebody, it becomes personal. Like if I call Dave, he used to buy from me and he stopped, he must hate me. If you can remove that fear and that personal part out of it and that pride out of it, and just get really curious about people, which is great in the sales process, and ask questions, you'll get more retention.
Absolutely. Wow, time is flying by. We're going to have to change to an hour program at some point or have you on again. I'm really enjoying what you have to say. So, this concludes Brisk Buy or Bail. That segment's in the books, as they say, and we're going to be right back with Brisk Bulls and Bears with Alex Theis on Briskie Business.
Our NTV USA platform has its own smartphone applications. If you're operating on Android, please make sure to go to the Play Store, search up NTV USA, hit download and install. If you're operating on iPhone or any other kind of iOS operating system, please go to the App Store, search up NTV USA, hit download and install. It's simple, it's easy, but most of all, it's comfortable. There, you'll find notifications to all of our programming so that you can follow us and keep up with all of our shows. And every single announcement that we make here at NTV USA, under every single program, you'll find a link that with a single click will take you directly to the smartphone applications. So what are you waiting for? Enjoy our programming. Stay tuned, stay connected, enjoy a nice cup of coffee. And remember, con una vista, basta.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Paying attention to your overall health also means focusing on the command center of it all, your brain. Factors like stress, lack of sleep, poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and the bombardment of pollutants and toxins can all diminish brain and neural functions. When was the last time you concentrated on your brain health? Synaptive by Youngevity is a cutting-edge, unique brain support supplement that delivers powerful nutrients both immediately and throughout the day. Its anti-stress nutrients provide instant brain-boosting support that helps with mental focus and cognitive activity. To enhance your body's neuroprotection, Synaptive's full-spectrum antioxidant blend targets 6 major classes of free radicals that inhibit brain function. This powerful nutrient combination also promotes healthy blood flow to the brain. Synaptive, optimal antioxidant neuroprotection and support for a healthy brain. Now that's something to think about. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. I'm really enjoying this conversation with Alex Theis, and this segment is Brisk Bulls and Bears. So we kind of pivot a little bit to the public markets, and we're going to bring Alex back onto the program and talk to Alex about maybe about his investment strategy a little bit here. Alex, I don't mean to dig into your personal finances here, but everybody has a strategy for investment and a way they do it. So tell me about the type of companies that you invest, or do you invest? Are you in the public markets?
I am. I read a book by Tony Robbins, which you can take or leave Tony Robbins. There's good and bad with everybody, but he wrote a financial book. The name is escaping me right now, but one of the things he talked about in there is he really simplified how to invest. And he said 2 things. He said invest in companies you believe in and use, and invest in index funds. So I had to find out what an index fund was, but that's basically where I went. Everybody is looking for a stock tip. Everybody thinks, not everybody, but a lot of people who aren't in the stock market, maybe they're in 401k or whatever, but it's just kind of like, I don't understand it, so I stay away from it. It's really not that complicated. And the more you get into it, the more you're going to learn about it, the more you're going to like it and be really smart about it, because I've never gotten a stock tip that paid off. The best advice I got was invest in companies you believe in. So for me, it was Walmart. It was Amazon. It was a coffee company that I won't name. It was, some things that I was using or believed in, or I liked their management. And that worked really well for me because it was steady growth. Specifically, Amazon, I think everybody kind of knows where their shares are at, is up in the 2,000 range. I actually bought them at 300. And that wasn't on a tip or anything. It was just like I liked where they were going. I liked what they were up to. I like how they use data analytics. So, and then index funds, one of the great things about an index fund is you get to invest in a sector or sectors and literally hundreds of companies. So if you do feel like, wow, technology is going to grow, I want to invest in technology stocks, or right now healthcare stocks, then you can invest in like 100 different in one fund. So that's where I stick. And I don't even believe in the set it and forget it. I think you should watch it and see what companies do. I'm a huge believer in Southwest Airlines, and they've obviously taken a huge hit. So I am watching that. And I did reduce but I'm staying with them because they're a smart company and they've come out of every financial challenge as the strongest airline. They always have they may have the highest revenue or the biggest airline, but they've always come out the strongest when it comes to adversity. And when somebody does that, it's kind of like a winning football team. They just find ways to win. If you invest in companies you believe in or areas you believe in, sectors you believe in, I don't think you can go wrong.
Yeah, I think that's actually great advice. And I love the Southwest airline analogy. And in fact, I'm going to write that one down in my mental brain right here because, I've spent a fair amount of time in Dallas as well and watched how that company operates. And I definitely jumped out of those sectors, that I was worried about, the restaurant business, knowing the airline business. But the question now is which ones are going to come back and when. And Southwest seems to have that in their DNA to be able to survive. So I think that's an interesting one. One of the things we're going to see, and we talked about it in an earlier segment, is at the end of the day, no matter where your head is on investment strategy, loving Amazon, their sales strategy is so awesome. That's what really drives these businesses to have their stocks take these highs, and we can get this wonderful return on investment. And one of the areas that you are so strong in, we talked about retention, but the other area is sales skills. I see in the direct selling space, distributors, new people to side hustle people within longevity, for example, the distributor base. I see them always trying to get some time from you to talk about improving sales skills. And I'd like you to talk about that and then how to build a winning sales team. So just the sales skills first, and then can you build a sales team and how do you do it?
So for sales skills, it started with me. I was definitely not a natural when it came to sales. I was definitely afraid of it. Didn't want to pick up the phone. I was the person that if I had to make sales calls, I just prayed that the person on the other end of the line wouldn't answer and I'd get the voicemail. And then you get a hold of somebody and you'd be definitely afraid. I think the worst part when you're afraid of sales and you have to do them or you're trying to do them is when you actually get a sale because you're in complete and utter shock. So none of that is good. It doesn't feel good. And I wanted to change that. So I wanted to be the type of salesperson and learn sales skills that I could teach to. It felt like I was given the key to a door that most people don't get to look into. And that is, I think 9 out of 10 people would tell you they hate sales. Not, I could take or leave it. They just hate it. It's probably more. I don't ever want to do sales. But the reality is we all sell every day. From the time we're children at the supermarket and selling your parents on the why you need something to you and your teenagers telling them why you need a car. We are constantly selling things that we want or believe in. And those were 2 keys for me. I'm never going to sell anything I don't want to sell or I don't believe in. That's first. And second, I took on this mantra for sales. Simply leave everybody better than you found them. And maybe it sounds pie in the sky, but it's really what I live in the sales world is just leave people better than you found them, which doesn't mean sell them. That means add value to them, leave them better than you found them, and those sales will come around. Sometimes that is a sale, is leaving somebody better than you found them. But most of the time, it's just being a great human and making a great connection, and people will remember that. And the third piece, for me, that was really important to get good at when it came to sales wasn't a pitch, wasn't a script, wasn't even the close. Because when you qualify people right and well, you don't have to close. They will close themselves and close higher than you even expected. So that was the third thing. I became really good at qualifying people, especially learning when there was not a sale available. And this is a mistake I see in the direct sales. People chase. And oftentimes they get somebody to buy just out of like, hey, if I buy, will you leave me alone? That's the worst type of sale. I want somebody who buys, has a great experiences, and comes back and says, I want more. I want more of what you have. I want to do what you do. So for me, it was learning when a sale is not available and then leaving people better than you found them when you knew a sale wasn't available. Because, side note, when the sale is available, you better kick that door down. Don't be shocked. Make it happen. So building a team, I followed, as you know, they'll all tell you this. Everyone on the sales team, this is part of our culture, and their mantra too is number 1, leave people better than you found them. And I think you've heard this on some of their sales calls. One of the proudest moments of my life is hearing somebody make a call and saying, I'm really sorry you're going through that, Mr. Who and so-and-so. I'm really sorry you're going through that, Dave. And what I'm going to do is follow up with you. You have some job interviews coming up? I'm going to follow up with you in 30 days. And then hearing that follow-up call when they say, hey, Dave, did you get the job? Oh, I'm so happy for you. They didn't even try to sell them. Hey, we're here for you when you're ready. I'm so glad you got that job. And the person calls back 2 days later, and they're just in shock. And that leaving people better than you found them gives everyone a fair shot. So the second thing I teach people when I'm building a team is how to qualify, how to recognize when there's no sale. I don't look for super talented salespeople. I just look for people who love to win or hate to lose, right? Because I want that hunger that they have. I can't teach hunger. I can teach you how to qualify. I can teach you sales skills. I can teach you how to up an order, the average order size. But I can't teach you how to leave people better than you found them. That has to be something you're natural at. So that's the first thing we look at. And then we look for hungry, motivated people. So when you combine those two factors, Dave, hungry, motivated people who treat people well, the proof is it's been really, really magical. I'd love to tell you there's like 10 things I go through when I interview people, but my interviews for salespeople are actually really short. I want to get a read on you. I ask you a couple crazy questions to see how you react. And then I want to know, is it in your DNA? Do you treat people well? If you treat people well, you're putty in my hands and we can make magic happen.
And I've seen you do that, and I've heard the sales team use those words, and you live that not only in the selling process. I think you just live that, and it become part of your culture. I mean, even before this program, you texted me some advice about certain things on the program, how to make it better. It was awesome. That advice means a lot to people. It just comes out there. It wasn't criticism. It was, this is my observation, and I think if you do A, B, and C, you're going to be even better. And I think when people realize you're looking out for their best interest and you really care about them more than you care about the sale, that's when it's not selling anymore. And that's when we see the success. The magic that I have seen throughout my career, the most successful people are not in sales, are not the ones you might think that they would be, right? Those ones that are slamming it all the time, close, and don't care about people, those people are death of a salesman. They're gone. It's like the old book, the old adage, the used car salesman type of person. That has gone the wayside. Boy, professional selling career, professional salespeople, it's just about, being nice, caring, genuinely caring, and know and love your product. And I think you hit on all of those pieces. And you're one of the best salespeople I know. And those people that meet you, and you know how I feel about you, they can't believe that you're great at it. It's not necessarily the, quote, stereotype of the personality. So talk about that in the 1 minute we have left for this segment.
It's I've kind of run into that my whole life, whether it's playing hockey or I don't do things in a typical way. It's just, I think life has a lot more to offer than that. You're doing things a little weird, a little different, having fun, being yourself, which is what I want all of my salespeople, everybody I work with. Anybody can do sales. Anybody can. So it doesn't matter what you look like, what your background is, how much you failed. Like, if you're just willing to treat people well and learn some of the key skills, and you mentioned it, David, focus on a product you really, really believe in. Part of that too is like that email I sent you. I believe in giving away the goods. If I have the knowledge or expertise or I see something, it's not a competition. Like the rising tide floats all boats. And that was from my podcast mentors who helped me start a podcast that competes with their podcast. And now I'm indebted to help other people. So my sales team does the same thing. They help each other rise up. And so for that,
More and more healthcare professionals and people seeking alternative and natural health treatments are turning to hemp-based products because of the growing body of research supporting its benefits. Youngevity has leveraged our years of natural plant-based nutritional research to introduce 3 new products. Hemp FX Soothe helps support muscles and joints by enhancing a healthy immune response and reducing free radical stress. For optimal results, it contains our hemp-derived CBD plus the powerful antioxidant glutathione. Hemp FX Relax helps ease the mind and the body for a deep and restful sleep. We combined our hemp-derived CBD with melatonin to help support your best night's sleep. To help support positive energy for your mind and your mood, we created Hemp FX Uplift. In combination with St. John's wort and a specialized set of terpenes and cannabinoid enhancers. To learn more about Hemp FX, contact your Youngevity distributor or visit hempfx.com.
Super Greens is a one-of-a-kind blend that's loaded with hard-to-find nutrient-dense superfoods. We've used what we've learned from our more than 20 years working with mineral-based nutrition to create one of the healthiest, plant-based nutritional products available. Each superfood was carefully selected so that it complements and enhances the others, helping to maximize Super Greens' nutritional power. Next, we added a specialized fermentation technique to increase the bioavailability of each superfood. Finally, we put in powerful probiotics and enzymes for added digestive support to give you jam-packed nutritional support. Youngevity Super Greens, the highly alkalinizing super supplement that helps balance your body. It's the superfood-powered way to get more organic fruits and veggies in your day, all in just one scoop. Check with your Youngevity distributor to learn more.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. I have had such a blast talking with Alex Theis. I want to bring him right back onto the program right away. Alex, it has really been fun, these 3 segments, and I know this segment means a lot to you, the 4th segment, Brisk, Best, and Brightest, really about that mentorship. The whole program touches on mentorship, but this one we really focus on it. And one of the things I know once in a while you like to maybe tip back a pint and you even make your own beer. And we were sharing a beer one afternoon, and you told me about a very early mentor that had a huge impact on your life. So I was wondering if you might be able to share, that beginning mentorship that influenced your life.
Yeah, Dave, this has been fun. I'm excited about this final segment here because mentorship throughout my life has just meant so much to me. Throughout your life, I mean, you need to work with people. You need to find people who see something in you you don't see in yourself. And I believe it's not a coincidence that God put me in situations with great people where I could ask why things worked the way they did, who took the time to explain things to me, encouraged me to question processes, encouraged me to question their skills, why things were taking place. And you may not even know this, Dave. You were one of those people when we met six years ago, or maybe over 6 years ago. Around 6 years ago, I was at maybe the lowest point of my adult life. And I had built retention teams. We were talking about doing something great, which we ended up building something amazing, even beyond my expectations. But at the time, I had done it. I had experience. My confidence was at the lowest point, maybe in my life. And you saw something that I didn't see. I knew it was there. I knew I could do it, but it just was at a really rough point. We all need those people in our life that see the potential in us and see greatness in us, those seeds of greatness before we even see them. And very early in my life, I had a mentor who pulled me aside and was able to help me with a lot of different things, help me see the light, help me be a little more mature. Don't laugh. I have times of maturity. But this particular gentleman told me something about education. He said, in sales, we say ABC, always be closing. His thing was always be learning. You're never at the summit. You're never as great as you're ever going to be. You always need to keep learning. He said, you need to get mentored all the time. And my thought was, how can I be in your office 24/7? He said, no, videos, books, whatever it is, podcasts. And that's how I got into listening to podcasts, is you can get mentored from afar from people you'll never meet. So mentorship has meant so much to me through these mediums, that if you just spend 20 to 30 minutes a day, it's like compound interest, 20 minutes a day in a great mentorship book on any subject, leadership, sales, watching Briskie Business, that's going to pay dividends. And the second piece of this that I want to stress to everybody, we all have an obligation to mentor someone else. Anyone can encourage anyone. You have skills and experience and expertise that you may not even realize, and you are obligated to share that with somebody, because it'll matter so much to them. And take a minute to see something in somebody else that they may not see in themselves. And you might even save somebody's life by doing that. I mean, they could turn their life around. Great things will happen when we see potential in others.
And that's super powerful. I appreciate you sharing that. And I'm glad I was able to have an impact at a tough time in your life. I didn't know that, but it's come back 100-fold for me, so that's a big win. One of the things I want you to touch on, if you wouldn't mind, I mean, you know what's going on out there, right? I mean, you can't get away from this kind of new normal, the COVID-19 normal, and there's all these kids that are coming out of school now or in jobs, and they've lost these jobs. What kind of advice can you give to these folks in this situation right now?
Well, first, I want to talk to parents out there and give a little bit of unsolicited advice. And just one of the best things I've ever done for my children was tell them that if they like the class, if they're into the subject, I need an A. If they don't like the subject, I just need a C. Just do the bare minimum, because that's how the world works. Nobody focuses on things they hate unless it's just part of their job. But where people really succeed is to focus on their passions and what they're good at and what they love to do. Every great entrepreneur, salesperson, business person spends the majority of their time focusing on what they are great at. So by doing that, I have a daughter who's 16. She just finished the year with straight A's. There's zero pressure. She just is able to do what she wants to do. So with that, that's one of the best things I think I've ever done for my kids. So if you're coming out of college, whether you've got someone in that age range, which is very stressful as a parent, have somebody who's 18 and considering what they want to do with their life, or you're in that situation yourself, or maybe you're out of college and you're like, it wasn't what it cracked up to be, and I'm not really sure what I want to do with my life. It's very normal. I don't think a lot of us figure out what we want to do until we're in our 30s. So what I've encouraged my kids to do, and young people, the people on my sales team are all young people in their 20s for the most part. Get experience, do different things. Put yourself in a situation where you're going to meet people, because people are the key to opportunity. Making great connections is the huge key to opportunity. And then take the different ways to do things. And if going straight from high school to college and living in college, if that works for you, it's great. But the reality is it doesn't work for most people, and they struggle in their early career to find things. Get some experience. Go make money outside of a job. Start your own business. You don't have to start a brick and mortar business. Start a direct sales business. Start any kind of small business where you have to fend for yourself and make money, because it builds huge confidence, gives you great experience, and helps you meet people. I just want to encourage, whether they're a parent or in that situation, Dave, that there is no one way. We've been conditioned to go to school, go to college, get a good job, wait till you're 65 or 70 in order to start doing fun things in your life. I think that's a lie. I think we've been conditioned into a lie. So you don't have to go around unemployed for 30 years either, but get some different experience. Put yourself in different situations to get different experience and make money different ways. And try to, especially in your 20s, do some things that you love, because you're going to meet people that might make lifelong partnerships and create opportunities down the road.
Yeah, that's really powerful stuff and really excellent advice, Alex. And I'm glad you reached out to the parents as well, because I think sometimes we try to box people into some certain path, and you never know where that success and that passion is going to come from. And I think it's so interesting. First of all, you have an amazing family, but I want to speak about your two sons, Patrick and Travis, right now. They ended up embarking in a military career, and I don't think that was ever part of the quote plan, but your plan was for them to be happy and to follow their dreams and their passion. So they were able to go down that road. And first of all, I want to thank them both. You know my heart for our military and service people. And so my hat's off to Patrick and Travis. You must be super proud. But, how was that experience as a parent, hearing those types of things from your sons? Two different ways, I know, but talk about that for a little bit.
I think it was my son's varsity basketball. The sports where both my sons went to high school are huge. In fact, Rancho Bernardo High School is, in baseball was actually considered the minor leagues for baseball. They produce so many professional baseball players. So they take their sports very seriously. So they had a whole sports edition of the yearbook, and his quote, or the thing he got to write about himself, is the person he admires most, and he put was his dad, because I do whatever it takes to make sure our family's happy. And that to me was like, as a parent, you don't always know if you're doing a good job or not. And the fact that my two boys chose a military career right now in COVID, it seems genius, because both of them worked in areas of their life where they would have lost their jobs with COVID, that their industries were shut down. But in the military, they were just fine, and it's a little stressful to have them in the military. But both of them tested high, and they've built themselves in an area where they're going to get great careers after the military, and they're getting great experience and meeting great people. So I'm super proud of what they did. I think I'm more proud that it was their choice. I didn't serve in the military. I was a little shocked when they chose to do it, but it was their choice.
You opened that door for them, Alex, and you made it possible. Believe it or not, we got just under 2 minutes left. I know you watched, you know how I feel about gap moments, and I know you watched that segment, and you've done some incredible things. I think you've got your own take on gap moments, which is really, me asking you, what do you do to ground yourself and find joy in your life? And are there any big plans for some big gap moments for you in a minute and a half to tell us?
Yeah, going back to what you say no to allows you to say yes to the right things. I find so many people are using words like, I have to do this, I have to do this. They don't set boundaries in their life. There's nothing wrong with being a great employee, a great executive, a great entrepreneur, a great person, serving the people that you work with. That's absolutely important. But it's just as important to recharge your batteries. You can't be 100% all the time. It's physically impossible. You need rest, you need respite, you need to enjoy yourself. And so I just encourage people to say no to something. What you say no to, there's too many people saying yes to everything and they end up with no time left. And they don't have that moment when they're able to sit on the beach or whatever that is for you. For me, most time it's a hiking trail or my backyard. And take the opportunity to do some things while you can. And I'm going to go do some crazy hikes this summer, some things I've never done before. I might fail, but tomorrow isn't promised. So make sure that you say no to some things and set some boundaries so that you can have those gap moments like Dave says.
Well, you know what? We're going to wrap it up right here. Alex, thank you so much for your time being on Briskie Business. It was probably one of the best shows in terms of my own personal joy that I've had. It's been great spending time with you, my friend. And thank you for being on Briskie Business in this great show today.